Hello, I am Patty Markham Peterson, and you are joining us on Oneness Talk Radio YouTube, Oneness Talk Radio Facebook, Oneness Talk Radio, and this is Light, Laughter, and Lattes. I am your host today, and I have a special guest. My guest today is Mari Mendoza, and I did a show with her the last equinox in the spring, and we're completing this now on this fall equinox, which is today. And if you catch this later, you're going to still connect with the energies. Mari is an amazing energy healer, quantum clairvoyant, Avesa. She's been doing ceremony. You can talk about all this. She's an artist, massive qualifications for a long time. And so stay with us today because we're going to complete this with a beautiful meditation and a transmission of connecting from the March equinox to this one today. So we are going to welcome Mari, and we're going to talk about all kinds of things, and we're hopefully going to start with those beautiful paintings and what all those mean too. So welcome, Mari.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Happy equinox. Today, this is about the portals and cosmic connections, and I'm so excited to be here. And thank you, Patty, for inviting me. I always like to tap in and do some kind of ceremony or something for the equinox or the solstice, and I've been doing that for close to 30 years because it's really important. And so this is the perfect topic today. And I have these paintings here because specifically because they were painted, inspired by portal openings at different times of the year. So this one was spring. This one here, this one was winter solstice.
Winter solstice.
Spring.
And that's the spring equinox?
Spring equinox, yeah.
Okay.
So we are the ancient people connected to the dates, the very specific dates of equinox and solstice, specifically to get into alignment. And what happens right before the timing, the energy can get a little bit wonky. And then as you move through it, it balances. So right now, this is all about a balance, how we align with them. And if you're going to do ceremony at all, the 4 ceremonies at least, the equinox and the solstices, because those help you shift into the next season for balance. So this painting here is called the Rainbow Bridge. And this is a representation of the portals, the Chicana that it comes from South America, from the Quechua Indians and the traditions in South America. That is the 12-pointed cross, and it's an interdimensional galactic cosmic doorway. It's a gateway, and the Rainbow Bridge which is really this. Connects us into the higher portals. So in the ancient traditions, they always connected heaven and earth. So the Hanak Pacha is superior realms of light. Hanak Pacha means world. And then Kai Pacha, the physical, and then Uka Pacha, the within. So when we align these 3, we come into balance. And what is created is a still point, what they call a still point or a time out of time. So what the ancient people knew intuitively, now that's quantum physics,
Exactly. That's what so many, you may use different terms or words for that same knowing truth. Correct? Yes. Beautiful.
So today this is all about receiving, really stepping into the energy and receiving. And, there are temples all over the world that, many people are just suddenly, I have to go to Machu Picchu or I have to go to Stonehenge. And there's something that is calling you from deep within to go to those places because the earth has natural portal sites that activate your DNA when you go there. You don't have to go there, but that's what is happening with so many people traveling and going to sacred sites.
Absolutely.
Now, you are a temple. And so when you know this, when you start to connect into that you are a temple, that's what's really powerful.
Exactly. And there may be even, you may be called to go to other sites that aren't as well known.
Yes.
And yet you're being guided. I know that's happened to me. And you go there, just follow that inner knowing and connect and notice where we're giving and receiving, right?
Well, nature is the most incredible environment for us to connect to the infinite, to connect to the magical worlds. There are just natural portal places across the earth where there are dimensional gateways that the shamans of old knew. I mean, they knew, and they created sacred sites out of some of those places, like Tiahuanaco in Bolivia. You know, the first time I went there, we were guided into, you know, the gateway, the Temple of the Sun, and there's specific places where the shaman said, go right here, you know, put your back up against this, put your forehead, be quiet, listen, and you'll pop right through a doorway. And then others, you have to really prepare for a long time in order to be granted access. So we have that kind of history recorded through all of our sacred art and sacred temples around the world, is that the ancient people knew about this. So
absolutely. And as we all look at that, somebody is commenting in, you know, the chat. Please do, people. We love to hear from you and connect with us, ask questions there, and how stunning the art is. And as I connect, you can feel the energy. So Mari gets downloaded, correct? This is and it comes out as sacred, energized art. What do you call it?
Well, there's a lot of different names, visionary art, but there are transmissions. And throughout the ages, art has been a vehicle for sacred geometry, for color, for sound. I'm also a sound healer. So I see and receive in meditations. In fact, this morning I was preparing, you know, for the day, and had a very deep meditation and received another inspiration, another painting, another portal, you know, so that's very exciting. I get the first glimpses of it, and then I act on that right away so that those energies get downloaded through the paintings. I'm about to open a store, so stay tuned. I'm excited about that, and these paintings are actually part of cosmic wisdom, sacred earth, quantum healing cards, portals of wisdom. So portals are really important because they allow you access during special times, and allow you the frequencies to open up to frequencies to help you stabilize. Because here you see that part of this is the earth, and then these are crystalline, ascended chakras, crystalline, going into the crystalline portal. And what's important is that as we raise in frequency, we have to be able to hold that energy more than 5 minutes, you know, but the more that you practice, the more that you surround yourself with sacred art, the more that you do meditation and all of that.
Yes, let's talk about that for a bit. Yeah, how anybody can, right? That you know, we may not all have the creative talent of Mari to paint like that, and bring it through that way, and yet each person has their unique way. You know, you just trust what you're feeling, your connection with, and how does that come through, and how are you aligning with that? Some it may be in the written word, and singing, and in sound, and other inspirations, whatever. And in that, I just kind of wanted to touch then on how we may feel when we go to some of these places, because sometimes it can feel, like you said, a little wonky, right?
Right. Well, so there are a number of ways. I have what's called a mesa, which is it's a very specific tradition from South America. The shamans from Peru, the Quechua tradition, the universal shaman. So I have a mesa that's a ground of being. It is kind of a foundation, and then there are like steps and ladders up into connecting into higher frequencies. So, that's the whole point of connecting heaven to earth. Many, many years ago, when I first stepped on this path, I needed a lot of healing, and I really didn't want to be in my body. I had a lot of trauma. And so I was just flying around in the cosmos. And as an artist, yeah, I'm getting all these ideas, but I couldn't bring it to the earth.
Into the physical. And yep.
And so I couldn't. So a lot of healing happens. A lot has to happen sometimes in order, and it's not immediate. Sometimes immediate, but it takes patience and diligence.
There we go. That's a key. I really want to encourage people, because we've both known, some dark times, and so many people do out there, and we can feel like we're lost or, out of balance. And as you connect with any of these practices, whatever it is, to have that patience, because it's not always immediate. It's this consistent, and the more that we can have compassion for ourselves and trust, what is your connection? How do you feel some sense of, what's the word besides connection? Alignment, being greater beyond yourself. And that ties into, what I want to go into after a bit about the need for the self-care and nurturing and the balance on all those levels.
Yes. Well, yes, we are in such an incredible time, and the energy right now, even NASA has not been able to really measure where the pulse waves are coming through from deep space. This is cosmic energy that's pulsing us. So it's not just a figment of your imagination that things are going crazy. and yet what's happening is that energy, the pulse waves are interrupting our flow, interrupting our electromagnetic field, and also the electromagnetic field of the earth, so that whatever is rising up can be cleansed. So that's really important, because we are in a time to clear away all the old patterning, the old paradigms, the old foundations. So whatever it is that you are doing in your life in this moment, and what you notice, because this is all about being present, right? And so whatever you notice, if you're noticing that something has triggered you, something is going on, it's not about blaming somebody else. It's about looking at how you're being triggered, go within and do your own clearing, because everyone is here to clear their own lineage, their own stuff. I mean, this is amazing, because we are clearing lineage energies from many lifetimes.
So that's another reminder of that mercy on ourselves and self-compassion. Stay with it, because we really are. Each one is so powerful. And as you heal within you, you heal on the outer, and through the lineages, generations, past lives, we're calling forward all these refractions. There's a lot going on.
Yes, it's multidimensional. We are moving into multidimensionality, and some of you may know what that is. It's not so hard to think about if you think about, well, you get on a computer and you open a website, there you are, and then you click onto another and you're in another universe, right? Well, in tech language, that that's simplified and easy for people to understand, and yet we are literally literally expanding into multidimensional consciousness. And so that's why it's so very, very important to stay really super connected into your heart. And for those of you that don't know, many people ground into the earth, and this is just a reminder to not do that. That the earth is rocking and rolling and emerging and birthing and shifting and changing. And so we are here to help her release and clear, so that, as we lift up into our heart chakra and hold this. In India, they call it Hridaya, the lotus of the heart.
Mm-hmm.
I have another painting for that one, to be in divine presence, but we're coming into a place where we're connecting into the heart, which is core, the ascended heart.
Mm-hmm.
Is really what this is about, is holding that frequency so that you're stabilized while everything is moving around. And then, clearing up all the stuff through the base, so that you can anchor, so you can lift into the cosmos and connect with that.
And be conscious of it in this lifetime.
Yes.
Yes. Because there's a lot of, things happening that we're not even conscious of our multidimensionality. And now we can be much more conscious of it. This is like such a celebration. And as each one does this work of clearing out these lower three chakras of their old, she talked about the limiting patterns and habits and things that are not serving our highest, safety, sex, power, the traditional. We clear out what comes up for us. And how do we do that? Well, when we're triggered, we have the opportunity to go within and look to what it is in us. And there's many ways. We've talked in many of our shows about that. And then clearing those old patterns and limiting beliefs, we can anchor more in the heart and be conscious of all of that while anchoring in the body.
Yeah.
I like, I think I encourage my clients, when they've been used to running those cords into the earth, to picture the spinning lotuses under their feet.
Yes.
And walk with her and blessing the earth. And
in sacred art, actually, in many of the images of the Devis and the goddesses and Shiva, and many of them, they're standing on a lotus, and
yes.
crystalline. That's the crystalline energy, and that crystalline energy, that's where we're going. We're shifting from carbon to crystalline, and
exactly
DNA. And that's really not that hard to imagine. People are like, how do you compute that? All of our cells are crystalline. Your bones are crystalline. Think of that. Your bones are crystalline. And the shape of the water in your body, the shape of the cells, and the structure is crystalline. So as we drop density and as we release the heaviness and lift into higher realms, the shamans knew about this. They knew how to make a sound, and a portal opened in the mountain, and they walked through, and that, I used to read those stories way back when I first stepped on this path, so ascension is not just for one particular group, or they knew about this, and actually we have these portals all over the planet, and it's said that the Pachamama, the earth, that this particular realm is so sought after for so many reasons, because of the experience here, but because also we have access to many different gateways into other realms, stargates, portals, and that's why we can access different places in the universe from here. So it's kind of an exciting time, to be here, and yet some days challenging, to say the least.
Exactly. We are all working through whatever our lineage, what we came through to do. And if you're here, you are a master, and you can. And and some of the things that are important is connection with other beings that really get it, right?
Right.
And so, especially if you're starting to feel off balance, do you have support? This is one of the first things I always check in with my clients, because in order to raise our consciousness, that ego part of ourselves is going to come in with all of its you can't do this, and it wants control. And so with that, we need to practice giving it its voice, loving it, and then go more to the heart, anchor in the heart, be in the heart. And many of our people in our old tribe aren't going to really be real supportive at first, because we're letting go of those old patterns and ways we communicated and our victim triangles and all of that. So where are you finding your support? Is there somebody that'll love you being you, no matter who you are, that unconditional love, right? And
Right.
that's very, so I hope that, everybody has that. Look for it, call it in, ask the universe, bring me more like-minded soul beings as a support group while we're going through this. And together we are better. And especially when we do things like now going into sacred ceremony, more beings together can amplify that, right?
Yes, because now, I think COVID really, the silver lining there was that it really helped us connect into that we're worldwide and that we can connect in different ways that we were kind of forced to. And whether you were, proficient at it or not, to be able to tune in across the world. I mean, years ago, I had the opportunity to connect with Don Oscar, one of my shamanic mentors, and he offered classes online. And there's no way I would have been able to actually go sit on a mountain for 5 years and learn. But I learned, and what was so powerful, I had already known some of this already, but what was so powerful was that when he would blow the smoke, honest to God, I could smell it, and so
Wow, look at that.
the
Yes.
lesson there was quantum, that
Yes.
we're practicing quantum space. We're practicing
Yes.
moving into this place where we are all connected. And, oneness is not so airy-fairy. Some people may roll their eyes, and yet that's the one thing that many people actually really crave is connection, oneness,
Yep.
and all of the healing. You were talking about the connection, loving yourself through the seeming moments when perhaps you hit a judgment or a doubt. Doubt's really, really key these days, because if that still is triggered up, it is just an opportunity to notice that yet again, there's another layer. There's another layer, because we are so much more complex than we actually realize, and that we have eons and eons and eons of time in this and many other galaxies and sectors where we have played with shadow, where we have played with and worked with energy, and were affected by things that are deeply subconscious and unconscious. So
Yes.
to blame yourself or to be rough and hard on yourself, I remember when I first came to this, I was so impatient. Like, I get it, I know, and yet I had to be kind and walk through.
Yes, that's true self-love. That's that unconditional love, is when we can see it and not judge it, and not judging that we're judging, right? And it's to accept all aspects of me. And, in the energy of this week with the full moon and this equinox, what I've had happen in me, and I'm seeing in my clients and people around me, are some deep old pieces coming up, right? So the light is coming onto these shadow spaces, and it would have been so easy, to get very frustrated Not that we might not have those moments. And yet, when I saw the depth of some old pain from when I was a child coming forward, and I can still feel a little teary-eyed because it was so gut-wrenching, deep old pain that was able to come forward through a physical symptom.
Yeah.
What a gift that is. So we're looking at, like you said, I think you mentioned, or was that our pre-talk about what are we noticing and what's showing up in front of us?
Yes.
That's huge right now. And where is our attention? And so physical symptoms are a gift to consciousness. Pain is an opportunity to lift more as we unwind and work through it.
Yes, I have to admit, there have been times when I've been just extremely, this is not convenient, okay?
Oh, yes.
Oh, wait a minute, this is, and the more that you resist, so resistance
good point.
That's a really big one, because I was just dukes up. I call her my angry brat. I have this little inner brat and I have to love her. But when she shows up, she's like, she's not having it. And I have to work through that, because that one,
what does she need, right? Going in and saying, what does this aspect of me really need? What's her need that's not being met?
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
And I like that statement, what we resist persists.
Absolutely.
Yes. So there's more of an alignment in another way. Mm-hmm.
Yes. There's an expression, let go or be dragged.
How many times have we all been dragged? This is the lesson. Bang, bang, bang.
Oh my God. So to have compassion for yourself and drink lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of water. This week I had my whole emotional body. I had a whole, whatever allergies, and I really tapped into it. But talk about water. I flowed. I was just cleaning, clearing, and it was highly inconvenient, I might add. And yet, knowing what it is, knowing and saying, okay, I surrender. I let go. The universe, my guides know so much better what I need sometimes, because I'm not listening. When I get I'm moving forward, I've got to do this and that and that and that. And,
we're too much in our mind, right? That's so common right now.
Yes.
And be here because of, all the distractions and the to-dos.
Yes.
And beautiful. So you slip deeper into some self-care and some greater compassion. And let the flow. And look how that was a higher chakra cleansing.
Oh,
right.
Totally. This morning when I opened up in meditation, everything, I bawled my eyes out. Okay. But that is a release energy for me. And this is all about coming into emotional mastery, and some people have different challenges. For me, it has always, the emotional body, and I'm clearing out the old stories and noticing the old stories and then clearing through it. And so, yes, after I bawled and then I stepped in and surrendered, this whole transmission came through and I could feel that.
Wow.
Opening.
I can feel that. So you bring up another good point there, Mari, is to just be what the emotion is, because our emotional bodies are going through a lot right now. And it's the bridge between the physical and the mental body, which is the mental body is where we hold a lot of beliefs. So there's usually some belief tied around that. And be with the emotion again without any judgment. I've had a lot of tears too, and cleansing in that way. And to know that they literally have done studies on the healing effects of our tears. There's chemicals that help heal. And look how there's such divine perfection to everything in us. And to not judge those tears. I know for some people, as I work with them, because again, a pattern or a belief went in when they were a child that wasn't, accepted, or you weren't allowed to have these emotions. So we're often unwinding a belief like that. And so can we sit with, sometimes it's anger and rage. I had some of that come up. It was over by my ribs on my right side, liver, and liver can often be tied to old angers and whatnot, gallbladder. And as I was healing that, there was some deep old rage. Can we feel safe to be with an emotion like that? That takes some practice sometimes, and so it doesn't come out sideways at somebody else that's not the case. It's
Right.
because, that's when we've denied it, and then it comes out sideways at somebody instead of, wow, let me just be with this and vent it, and then give ourselves some love and compassion.
Yeah, sometimes we need help from someone else or somebody mm-hmm. You have to be really careful who you are working with, now, because
good point. Go there.
We're definitely shifting into a whole different paradigm, and some of the old healing traditions have to be transcended. I mean, I remember a shaman many, many years ago, she said, do not ever let yourself, a fence be put around your consciousness. And sometimes the healing tradition that you're in will seek to keep you within that. And sometimes you have to bust open those gates and fly, and become open to new vistas, because that we're ever expanding.
Right.
So
yeah, looking a lot at comfort zones.
Yes.
Right. Because it's so destabilizing in a way to step to that next, to be into that unknown. And again, the ego will try and keep us in these comfort zones.
Right.
And so even noticing what comes in front of us that wants us to do that.
Yeah. So that's what is so key about this moment and becoming present, and in a little bit, we're going to do a meditation, just a deep centering in your divine presence kind of meditation, because to be fully here, I mean, what I'm seeing a lot lately is that when I'm in the healing chamber, I see soul fragments coming in. I see parts, and that, and what that means for those of you that are not familiar with that is that there are parts of us that we deny or repress or send out. And what it looks like to me, it could be different for others, but what it looks like to me is almost like ghosts, like coming in and standing, like parts of the soul that are returning, and all healing is wholeness. And all, they say that we have been for the longest time on the out breath of God, and now we're on the in breath returning.
Beautiful. That's all about that receiving too. Yes.
Yeah, receiving.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. You bring a really good point there. And what are other things that people can do that I'm noticing right now in my practice, in my life and around me, with the portals now for this alignment, is the need to lighten. We're, as you mentioned, crystalline DNA from the carbon-based DNA. And so inward, your guidance may be saying to lighten things up. Yes. And we've kind of mentioned, being at certain places may feel that way. Today, I was called to go to, I live very close to Lake Superior, the huge, beautiful fresh water. And my neighbor also has a crystalline harp. And so we both took our crystalline harps down to the water. And it was I get soul tears. And we did our own thing and together, and we just, there too, we saw the crystalline in the waters, and then the portals connecting. And I then held a conscious connection to our brethren in South America, Ecuador, as they connect with the three trinity of portals there. So, and then also, like where you go, but my diet, I'm having to change how I eat. Yes. I already ate pretty much vegan-ish, and it's like, whoa, my body's being so much more particular. What are you noticing?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And things that I thought were okay, my body said, no, you don't like this.
Exactly. not right now.
Yeah.
And how much my mind, the ego, what, sometimes we're eating to feed the ego. And like my dark chocolate, and right now my blood sugar is saying, not even that. I'm like, "Ah." How much was I, just eating that for emotional support? Or,
Right.
yeah, I don't know. It's just, reflecting. And so there's been changes there for me. And so I'm just putting that out there that maybe some of you have been noticing that too, to lighten, to be more in alignment.
A long time ago, I was living on the East Coast, and there was a doctor, Christiane Northrup, and she
Mhm.
was talking about women's wisdom, women's bodies.
Yep.
And she said something interesting that, during in the afternoon, when you go to reach for it, you feel a little tired and you go to the refrigerator and you open the refrigerator and you eat something and you go back and you go back again and it doesn't fill you up. And you're like, what was that? Like I'm still
Yeah.
not nourished. And breath. She said that at certain times in the afternoon, what your body actually would benefit from instead of food or instead of a sweet or a coffee is breathing. So conscious breathing, conscious
Yeah.
breathing, like
Yes.
so many people, I mean, you breathe all day long and you don't think about it, right?
Right.
But
Right.
when you consciously breathe, you are bringing in prana. So prana, you can't see it, but it looks like little millions of little spinning galaxies of light everywhere. We're metabolizing light through the food. We're metabolizing light through the breath. We metabolize light through our brain. So light, if we feed on light, that's really key. And so we're moving more into that alignment as well.
Right.
Right?
So thank you for sharing that. Yes, that supporting ourselves to
Yes.
do this with greater ease, so it's not as challenging to be in
Yes.
our still center of balance, and trusting our inner guidance and what your body and inner knowing is saying for you. So music, sound, we're going to do I have my bells here and Mari's going to guide us here to help break up, clear, and lift, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And water. You mentioned lots and lots of water, and any way people can be around water. Sitting in the sun, I really felt that need today. You talk about the light, and it's just like I had to be out for a while and getting as much sun on me as I could, and move the body. That
Yeah.
too. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So all those things that, just putting a little more consciousness into it. And maybe whatever we did before, even though I was saying, I did it, the way we were doing it can be changing,
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. I mean, in the last year, I had so many changes going on, and being by myself and being in my studio, that was a whole different alignment for me. And so by being by myself and painting and spending all that time, I felt guilty not being out. But then yet we were under lock, we were under,
Yeah.
restriction to go out. But I just really noticed all the different nuances, and to be by yourself and be open to creative energy and take care of you and listen to those inner messages. And, that was a really big thing for me. And yeah.
Yeah. I see that theme showing up about this deeper self-nurturing right now. And yeah, makes sense. We're all having pieces possibly coming up, shifting, aligning. What is our balance right now? And isn't it a new birth starting too?
Completely.
Okay.
Well, the whole month in ascended numerology is 6, right? And
Yeah.
that's the balance, the Merkaba. It's all about balance, that masculine, feminine. It's the elongated ascension triangles. It's the double 3, the Trinity. I mean, the masculine, feminine. So many energies, to be able to balance giving and receiving, and certainly, with the energy that's coming in, if you're feeling out of balance, noticing that, and how, I mean, it's so simple sometimes it's really simple, and other times it takes a little diligence to walk through and dismiss it, right? Discover what's going on, because the body doesn't know what's happening. You know,
Right. That's another good point, right? It's kind of freaking out sometimes, going, wait a minute, there's new energies here. I have to adjust again.
yeah, I had a few days of discovering that I was carrying a really old overlay from my mother. And I actually felt old and I felt like heady. And it was almost like I had been imprinted. Well, I had been imprinted by that energy of her and the way that she walked in the world. And we take that stuff on so easily. Of course, we come through that birth canal. And so, you know, much of that, that's not always easy to discover. And then when you do, noticing it, and wow, having absolute compassion and releasing it and allowing, oh wow, okay, that, you know, in a way, I think of Amaru, which is the cosmic serpent, the inner world. Actually, let's see where that painting is. The serpent, the cosmic serpent rising up through the crystalline. I think of that, you know, all the time now, the shedding of the skin, the shedding of the old, because so many people are releasing such crusty layers. You may not even know it. You know, to be able to really make sure your house is clear, that you're keeping yourself clear, and noticing those things and forgiving, and you know, so much.
There is. And if anybody says, oh, I don't know where to go next, both Mari and I assist others through these processes. And her, they're below or above Facebook or YouTube, Oneness Talk Radio. Our links are there, but your website is?
MariMendoza.com. And, you know, Instagram, Mari Mendoza Healing Arts. So
yes, reach out even with questions. You know, I always look, you know, forward to that too. If people are, and I offer a free 15-minute consultation. If somebody says, well, I'm not sure, you know, what you do, we can explain and see if we fit. You know, trust who you're called to. If you need that extra support and guidance to understand what you're going through, because sometimes we don't know. You know, I reach out to somebody else when I am not clearly seeing. You know, all the overlays of the symptom or the imbalance. And so we're getting to time here to head into our meditation. And so I thank you, people, for being in the chat and sending your wishes and connections. I'm grateful, appreciate it, love you. And I hope you'll take part in this with us. Mari and I, like I said, we did a beautiful spring equinox ceremony in Palm Springs, California in March. She made a gorgeous, the word's escaping me.
It's despacho and a crystalline altar, and we did a despacho ceremony.
And it was unbelievable. Yeah. And so now we're connecting to this equinox. And so I encourage you to connect with your heart. Everybody that wants to receive this powerful healing transmission, breathing into that heart. Notice, I am peace. I choose peace. Release with your breath the surrender into the infinite. Connect with your goodness. Connect with the truth of who you are. There you go. I feel some throats. Beautiful. Let's clear those truth chakras as we connect together. We're building this connection. I'm going to play three of my crystalline bells here, tones. And then as those simmer down, Mari will guide us into the meditation.
So, beloved,
Interesting. It stopped my bell. Not sure what that is. There we go.
So taking a breath. Letting out the sigh as you breathe in. And in this moment, as you breathe in, breathing in, imagine beautiful as we call in the violet flame, the beautiful Himalayan masters, the Sufala, the Esina, all of the cosmic guardians, the great shining ones. We call all of the guardians of the earth, the great dragons. We call all the ancient ones who are watching this upliftment now, the crystalline energy. And all that step in. Allow yourself now as you breathe, connect on your breath through the mind's eye, bring it into your heart and bring it down into the belly and stabilize yourself. Imagine now that before you is a huge chakana, a big medicine wheel. And imagine that you step forward, entering into that medicine wheel. And as you come in, we honor the energy of the south, the physical body, our beautiful body temple. Imagine as you enter here, visualize, pretend, or just simply allow that you step in and you allow for stillness and quiet. And you are guided now to step right into the very, very center. And as you step into the center, this medicine wheel, this beautiful chakana, as you look to the left, you open to the energies of the water, Unu. And before you, Waiva, the beautiful air, the guardians of the air. And to the left, Inti, the fire. And behind you, the earth, the Pachamama. And as you allow yourself, take a deep breath and let go now. Let go of the physical world and step fully now into the center. And beneath you, the most exquisite energy, like a beautiful globe, far, far below. And an energy pulses up from that. And a beautiful crystalline lotus comes up beneath you, and it pulses light straight from the crystalline heart of the earth up into your heart. Breathe it up. Breathe and open your spine. And as you open this up, breathe and allow this energy to rise up out of the top of your head. Open the crown now. And as you breathe it up, imagine now above you, you see this portal opening far, far, far above, crystalline portal of light. And a beautiful, beautiful hummingbird comes through and begins to spiral around you. And it guides, it lifts, and you, as you follow its flight, your gaze lifts to the divine. And you find yourself rising gently, gently up through this portal. And it is holding you. This beautiful energy of the lotus is lifting, lifting, lifting. Allow yourself to lift up, 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 up. And as you go up higher and higher, it's like Siwakwinti, the beautiful hummingbird, this beautiful energy. She calls you. And she says, lift, come, come, come. And as you lift up with this, allow yourself, as you lift through this portal, as you lift, stabilizing just for a moment, before you another portal. And this one, as it comes into alignment, it opens all around you the most exquisite chamber. Step into that chamber. And immediately the Hanakapacha, the superior realms, the starry realms, align and balance through your core. Deep breath. And just for a moment, the guardians from many, many starry realms step in. And many are here to hold this alignment for the upliftment of the earth, for the upliftment of all. And so in this moment, the beautiful singing, the song, the sound, the energy of the divine, absolutely infinite frequencies. Just allow yourself to open to receive. Open all of your inner spaces and see right in the center a beautiful crystalline globe, a globe of the earth. And many, many, many realms and many guardians are standing around. And this is glowing from the most exquisite crystalline energy. And as we step in, send from your forehead, the third eye, see a flame open through the third eye, a flame rising up from the brow into the star consciousness, right at the hairline. And see this flame ignite. Open your cosmic meridians, open all of these things. Open so that you are able to connect into the infinite, many realms, but this crystalline bridge. And as we are holding this energy, wherever you are, imagine this beautiful rainbow bridge all around you, and far, far above, a beautiful orb. And we send from our crown, imagine that we send up to connect into that infinite, our light. And this orb absorbs this rainbow energy, this bridge. And a rainbow bridge is created. And it sends out energy around the earth, out into the cosmos, stabilizing and bringing, showering everyone as if this light is rising up and then showering out in streams of rainbow light surrounding the earth. Breathe and see that weaving through the core, that infinite stillness, the torus rising up, spiraling straight up through us, and then just spraying out in a beautiful rainbow light coming back up through the core as we create a torus field. Breathing it up, sending it out. Breathing it up through you, sending it out. You are worlds upon worlds. You are an infinite, vast being of light. Open your wings, spread your wings. Feel the infinite energy pulsing through you. Feel it. As you are focusing, as you are holding this still point now, this energy is radiating. You are the rainbow bridge. It is flowing through us, through you. So let us again connect beneath us, far beneath us, crystalline light. Bring this light up through you, up through the many dimensions, up through your many bodies as you lift into your 5th, 7th, 9th, 33rd dimensional body. As we lift into these energies, we send this out, balancing, stabilizing. We hold this still point. Sai wakuyai sai sonko sami umai kanchai kanchai.
So
allow this energy to flow through you, flow through you, flow through you. Bring this energy into your heart. By now, your heart maybe looks like an infinite galaxy. Expand, expand, expand. You are a vast being of light. And as you hold this energy, recognize that you are so much more. And even as you move your energy back out into the world, that you stay in this expansion and remember the truth of who you are.
yes,
You are an infinite being.
yes,
See the ascended.
yes,
See that part of you that has a jewel, the whole entire forehead, and radiant light in a beautiful crown, radiating spears of light straight out from your crown, up and above. See this light. Feel it through the heart and through the belly. Anchor and align that. And as you breathe this in, find your way. Bring all of this energy. Feel yourself being guided back, back, back. As you bring this beautiful energy with you through your mind, your heart, your belly. Find your feet and
yes.
imagine that your feet, that you are guided and far below you, the planet Earth. And you bring this energy with you quickly. You find your way back, 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 back.
Yes. Back into our bodies.
Yes. And
Thank
as
you.
you bring this energy, feel yourself clear and anchoring this right through your core. One last time, breathe. Breathe into your heart.
Thank you for being with us today. May you take this into your life, blessing all those around you. Thank you, Mari. Namaste, everybody. What a blessing to be with you all.
Namaste. It is finished in beauty.